I finally found the legendary Stormrack reload implant in the shop, and I am buying it immediately. Now, this cost most of my A coins, but this is the one and only legendary implant that's actually worth it for me to buy. For most people, legendary implants are simply too expensive and not worth the cost, and epic ones do basically the same job for a lot cheaper. This legendary Stormrack reload is the one and only exception to that, and it is the only legendary implant that's worth buying for that price for most people, unless you're like absolute max level. As opposed to the epic, which reduces your reload by 23%, the legendary reduces it by 50%, which is a massive jump that is more than twice as effective, and it negates the one and only downside of the top meta weapon in the game. I am going to be maxing it out. I'm going to get it to level 6 immediately. Now, I don't have to do that because every level gets progressively more expensive, but every level gives the same percentage basically. So if you were on a tighter budget than me, I would get it to level 5. You can do that for fairly cheap and you would still get most of the benefit from it. But me, I don't really care. I have implant parts to spare. I'm going to be throwing it on Hemlock just to start. This is a nice map for this one as well. You guys, if you have Stormrack, which you should, you're probably used to your between 9 and 11-second reload time, but I can waste an entire magazine right here. Look at that. 5 seconds. 5 seconds to reload. By the time I need it, I'm good. Not a care in the world. This allows me to fire twice as often, which essentially doubles my potential damage output, and really opens up a lot of new mech options. Now, there are a lot of mechs that do really, really well with a weapon like this. The problem is that they are aggressive mechs, and if you have a 10-second reload between each mag dump, then that's pretty bad for you. But the reload implant basically just completely negates that, right? Like, it's just not an issue anymore. And this is why it is so important, and it is once again, the one and only implant that's worth buying for 3,000 A coins. That's such an insane price point. But there is this implant that's actually worth getting. All the other ones, I mean, they can be good, but they're really not that high of a priority. I'm doing that mostly to test the waters. I was pretty sure there was going to be a guy there, but I guess not. Just shoot him in the side. Man. Once I get my Stormrack 10 to rank 6, I can also put double 10s on some of my other mechs that would be very good with it. There's a couple of them. I don't really have them. It's mostly Deathwalker, right? So starting off here, I'm mostly... What in the world build is that, bro? Strange. I'm mostly using a passive mech, which is not quite the point of having a reload implant, but we'll get to some other ones in a second. This guy's kind of bugging me, though. I want to... Yeah, okay. I don't want to... I don't know why I'm optimizing for magazine as if it matters. It doesn't really matter. I was firing the 6 just to not waste the 10, but by the time I have it again, I got both of them back. Easy enough. And what is this? Pro Master HBM. It's an interesting name. I can only assume that he is a pro and a master at the same time, though. Otherwise, that would be false advertising, and you can't have that. What does he have? That's a miniker. I'll curve that around. He'll get stuck for just a second, long enough for me to kill him. This guy's got pulse cannon, bro. You're not killing me with that. That's ridiculous. I can just full mag dump. Ooh, he got the beacon. I want to grab that before someone spawns on it. That's not good. Our beacon situation is, like, not the greatest. Because I've been camping, obviously. But it could be worse. Let's see. Aha! Bro, it's a panther. He's spawning in, like, that area, trying to basically spawn camp my bots. Which is no bueno. No likey. Let me daze him outside of his dome just so he doesn't go back. Then I can easily kill him from there. This reload is insane. Insane, and I've been waiting for this implant for so long. It's been a really long time. I think he's going to the other corner. Where is he? Very curious. All right. There he is. A humble 16 kills. This is, of course, with, closing in on max. It's getting there, but a rank 6 legendary pilot, no damage implant, and it's just a stock level Stormrack 6 and 10. A build that's really going to benefit from the reload is Vortex, because it is a much more aggressive type of mech, or at least it can be. Now, Vortex is by no means the best choice for, potentially your best weapon. Vortex is not really that good, but I do know that it is a mech that a lot of people have invested in since last season when it had the modifier. So I do want to highlight it here just for the sake of people who are in that situation. I'm going to do this. Oh, he's just gone. Oh, somebody's got the two-dimensional. They two-dimensionized me. What the heck, bro? And then, yeah, he cut my reload short. Like he stopped my reload from reloading. Which was not very nice of him. Okay. Well, I know he's just going to radius that area again. Obviously. So, I'm just going to not do that. Got 90 meters on his ability. There's no range implant. Alright, well, he's down there. Is that a... Okay. That's his Vortex. I'm actually going to back up here. I want to be aggressive, and I want to push that beacon, but I know that there's a tail sting there. He can really boost his damage output, and my ability duration is frankly not that long, as opposed to other things that I have, which are very long, but the ability duration's not one of them. Is that him with the salver? No, he's still got the thing. Okay. I was gonna say, I saw someone salver heal. Wasn't sure if it was him that swapped into it. I didn't think so, because I didn't think he died. Just trying to keep track of all the enemies and what they have. Oh, he's dead. Nice, let's go. Alright, well, both of them are gone. I can keep pretty much constant pressure on this side now. What the heck is that, sir? Yeah, that's a problem. This one is going to be a top build for Stormrack, though, and one of the ones where you're really gonna want to use the reload implant, because Blizzfrost is a very aggressive mech, or at least it can be. It can be used very aggressively. So yeah, I would normally use this with Charge Rocket, and that would help it to be like my starter mech kind of beacon runner as well. I like to pair the speed boost with the ability, which also gives you a minor speed boost. And so that just makes me really, really fast. It also allows me to get in and out of situations pretty much as quickly as I want. So with Stormrack, that's not going to be the case. But what I am going to have is a lot more damage output and a lot more range on the rockets, which is another thing that is nice to have, though not really necessary in a lot of cases. It is nice, right? Charge Rocket only having 80 meters, I wouldn't be able to hit this guy. But I can do that. Let me just make sure that that bot gets to the beacon and starts to grab it. Alright. And this is... an Ares. Hello. How are you? Don't mind me, I'll just reload real quick. And he should be dead. Yep. Now, I would... I do want to go down to grab the beacon, but obviously I can't with everybody being there and taking up so much space. Let me wait for this Deathwalker to fire his magazine, hopefully. You know what, I'm just gonna do that, just to take less damage. I was gonna drop and then do it, but late Belmer. Uh-oh. Okay, so he's got Tetra, which is fine. Let me just back up here. Wait. I'm gonna radius him here. 2, 1, oh. That's not good. I'm actually gonna... I did get him. I did get him, but he did get me too. That's where if I was using Charge Rocket, what I probably would have done, and maybe what I could have done anyway, I would have fired at him and then I would have backed all the way up down to that little tunnel thing right there, right? And that's what I really like about Charge Rocket on Blizzfrost, is that I can relocate to a massive, massive degree. Even still, insanely good build. The last one that I can show you on the free-to-play account anyway is Seeker. This is a pretty darn good one as well, but it's less reliant on the reload implant because, well, by the time you teleport and teleport back and then get your ability back, you've basically reloaded anyway. Now, against bots, Seeker doesn't tend to do super well. And again, like, when you're choosing your targets, right, you gotta be very careful about who you teleport onto. Or at least you should. And... ooh, that's bad, that's bad. Yeah. By the time I reloaded, I'd just teleported back anyway. So, not a big deal. It allows me to cycle my ability faster, slightly faster, which can be nice. But, generally speaking, not the biggest deal. So, if you do have a reload implant, or if you only have one, right, especially, this is not the mech that I would prioritize by any means. Even still, it is a good Stormwrack mech, right? Teleport onto you. What the heck are you doing, bro? Okay. There's 3 people on there. Fair enough. I almost got them, though. And so, yes, this is a very, very good implant to have. Once again, the only legendary implant that's worth the 3,000 A coins that they charge you in the shop. The primary mechs you're going to want this implant for is Lacewing and Deathwalker. Those are going to be the ones that do the best with Stormwrack just in general. Obviously, you could also do Hemlock, or plenty of other mechs that can also do very well with it, as it is kind of just the best weapon in the game, basically. But I think it's fairly tricky to know when to try to buy it, and I would say that what you should first and foremost do is you should never buy the implant instead of a mech, right? If you're in Gear Hub tier like 5 or 6 and you're trying to buy these epic mechs, do not sacrifice your mechs for the sake of an implant. A single implant is not going to carry you that far. Something like an Orion would. And for some mechs like Seeker, it's just not necessary. I would say that Seeker and Hemlock, both of them, don't really require you to use the legendary reload in order to get good performance. They can get a very similar performance from a base reload or even an epic reload. What you're really going to want it for is the more aggro stuff, specifically Deathwalker, but also like, you know, Blizzfrost, if you're using it on that, Citadel, if you're using it on that, which is also another good one, by the way. And so this is all the information that I keep in mind in terms of when I decided to start saving up for this implant, when I was actually willing to buy it. And also, it's the information that I keep in mind when thinking about my Stormwrack upgrades. I have not bothered upgrading these a single time because I didn't have this reload implant to really make that worthwhile. And I still probably won't upgrade these for a little while longer because I just generally don't have any great mechs that require 2 Stormwrack 10s. So for now, I'll just take the implant and I'll be happy with what I have, because for the record, I have been waiting for this implant to appear in my shop for about 6 months. It's been an insanely long time. It's just an RNG thing. It's one of those things where it's like, if it shows up, you probably should buy it because God knows when it's going to show up again. And I do very often get people ask me whether it's worth it to buy, like, you know, legendary ability cooldown or legendary ability. None of these other implants, for anyone who's not max level, none of these other implants are worth buying. Like, just trust me. All of the other ones, you could just get an epic, and it's perfectly fine. You're losing out on a marginal percentage. The reason this one is so valuable is not because it's just Stormwrack Reload, it's because it's 50%, whereas most legendary implants, like Disruptor Reload, for example, max out at 30%. And with the epic one being so bad in comparison, this is the reason that the legendary is actually worth it for most people to go for. And so this is what I'm going to set up my main hangar as for now. I got the Barrage Pilot with the Storm Racks on Hemlock. I'm going to be losing out on a lot of damage that way. But I have to decide whether or not I just, break down and buy an Epic Missile Pilot, or I continue waiting for a legendary one in Event Crate. On the maps where it's good, I will be using the Strike Rockets on Solus, and I will not be using the Storm Racks at all. So yeah, even though I just got the Implant, it's a big deal, but I do like the Charge Rockets better on Blizzfrost, and nothing else that I really have besides Hemlock will do super great with Storm Rack. So for now, it is just gonna kind of chill until I get something a bit better, like maybe Lacewing or Deathwalker. Anyway, yeah, that will be it for me. Appreciate y'all. Take care.